This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 22, and it reads, If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then shall they both of them die, both the man that lie with the woman, and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kradash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. What we're going to witness here in this story is Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, and the 22nd verse being played out in real time. And I'm going to say this. For those of you who are of the household of Israel that enjoy adultery, you adulteress and you adulterers, both you men and women, the Lord is going to put you to a horrific and gruesome death. As it states here in the caption, alleged love triangle turns deadly. I want you to listen closely to the details that are divulged here. And per usual, I'll chime in momentarily.
A man and a woman allegedly having an affair are killed in a crash. Police say their car was struck by the woman's husband. Good evening. This is the KTLA 5 News at 5:30. I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Micah Olma. That deadly crash happened in San Bernardino after the husband reportedly confronted his wife.
KTLA Shelby Nelson live in San Bernardino and has more on the investigation. Shelby.
Sure, Micah, this is being called a love triangle that took a turn for the worse. And according to that woman's family, she was a church-going woman, a mother of three, who was in the process of trying to leave her husband.
Now, supposedly, if you heard what the news reporter had to say, this was a church-going woman. Now, what is adultery? Adultery is when a man lays with a woman who already has a husband, and or with a woman that's married lays with anyone else besides her husband. Okay? And this is part of the problem with the modern day so-called Christian church. Yes, we're under grace, but the law is still in full effect. And should you commit a sin of the magnitude of adultery, the Lord will put you to death. You understand? We're commanded to rehearse the righteous acts. Let's continue.
At the intersection of Paris Hill Park Road and Pacific Street in San Bernardino, a memorial symbolizes what tragic event happened here just over a week ago. A man and woman now identified as 25-year-old Asia Guerci and 31-year-old Charles Dark were both found dead inside a vehicle after what appeared to be a crash. Mangled guardrail and a damaged fence show what's left from the impact. San Bernardino police were called out just after midnight on January 26th, but eventually determined that this was much more than an accident. This was a homicide. Police say the suspect, identified as 31-year-old Isaac Albert Perez, ran his wife Asia and the man who she was having an affair with and who is believed to be her co-worker off the road. Perez is accused of confronting the two about the affair at Paris Hill Park before they drove off. Not far from there, police say Perez rear-ended his wife and Dark, sending the vehicle they were in through the fence and into this flood channel. Perez was later arrested. The San Bernardino County District Attorney charging him with 2 counts of murder, to which he has pleaded not guilty. Meantime, Asia's sister created this GoFundMe account to help pay for funeral expenses. Her sister saying that Asia was a mother of 3, taken by the father of her kids and a man she'd been with for 11 years. Court records show that Asia filed for a restraining order against Perez back in 2021, citing domestic violence, but a judge denied it. In a statement to the LA Times, Guerci's sister says Guerci was in the process of leaving her husband. As for Asia's love interest, KTLA has reached out to his family for a response. Now, we have also reached out to the San Bernardino County coroner, and officials there tell us that both victims are believed to have been killed because of blunt force trauma. That's the injuries that they say were causes of death. Reporting live from San Bernardino, I'm Shelby Nelson, KTLA 5 News.
Let's come out of this here. If you brothers were listening to the report, they mentioned that she was having an affair with a co-worker. You see, brothers, these scriptures are for us, all right? They're here to guide us. Listen to what the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 9. You know, because we all have to work. We have these various jobs and we interact and are around these married women. Stay the hell away from them, brothers. Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 9 tells us this. Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart, meaning what? Your mind, incline unto her. And so through thy desire, thou fall into destruction. Because if you're lusting after another man's wife, Yahushua told us, even if you look upon another man's wife with lust, you already committed adultery with her in what? In your heart, in your mind. And the wages of sin is what? Death. Let's come out of this here. Let me go directly to the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 20 through 35. And all of this is a beautiful read. Specifically, I like something that's mentioned in verse 34 and 35. And what does it give us here, brothers? A warning against adultery. Starting with verse 20, it tells us this: my son, keep your father's command. And the commandments from the Heavenly Father are not grievous. Not committing adultery, it spares us from what? Death. My son, keep your father's command, and do not forsake your mother's teaching through the Spirit, who's our mother now. The wisdom and knowledge and understanding that's coming out of these scriptures, brothers. Verse 21, bind them always on your heart. What? Your mind. We should always be thinking over them. Fasten them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. When you awake, they will speak with you. For this command is a light. Salakia, for this command is a lamp, and the teaching a light. And what does a lamp do? It gives light to what? Your steps. And correction and instruction are the way of life, keeping you from your neighbor's wife, from the smooth talk of a wayward woman. Do not lust in your heart after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. For a prostitute can be had for a loaf of bread, but another man's wife preys on your very life. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? So is he who sleeps with another man's wife. No one who touches her will go unpunished. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his hunger when he is starving. Yet, if he is caught, he must pay sevenfold, though it costs him all the wealth of his house. But a man who commits adultery lacks sense, and whosoever does so destroys himself. Blows and disgrace are his lot. What happened to this man here? He died from what? Blunt force trauma. I'm going to read it again, verse 33. Blows and disgrace are his lot, and his shame will never be wiped away. The reporter said they tried to reach his family. They could not reach him. Why? Because his family was embarrassed at what he was involved in. Verse 34 and 35 is the point. For jealousy arouses a husband's fury, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. See, that husband showed no mercy, which is all the judgment from the Lord. Verse 35, and he will not accept any compensation. He will refuse a bribe, however great it is. Let's come from here, right? Let's go to the book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 5, and it tells us, that's why the scriptures are here to guide us, brothers. Put to death, therefore, whatever is earthly in you: sexual immorality, impurity, passions, evil desires, and covetousness, which is idolatry. You see, it's covetousness to desire another man's wife, brothers. Let's come from here. We'll grab one more precept here in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4, and it tells us, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremonger and adulteress the Most High will judge. And that's what we saw in this news report here. The Lord bringing judgment on you men and women who enjoy the act of adultery. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Shalom.